Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about a Japanese Pokemon card set that I just love. I love it, and I don't see a lot of people talk about it. I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about it, and you're probably thinking to yourself, that's because people just talk about English, which is true, but I'm going to talk about this set today, and you might be familiar with this set or you might not. You probably saw the thumbnail. That's probably why you clicked on this video, and if you saw the thumbnail, you saw it's this bad boy right here. This is Heat Wave Arena or Hot Air Arena. I've seen different translations online, not 100% on which one it is, but I'm going to refer to it as Heat Wave Arena because I've seen that online more often. So, Heat Wave Arena is a beautiful box that I'm going to try and balance on my head like an idiot. You should check this set out, and well, that's why you're here. I'm going to throw the cards on the screen before this falls off my head, and I'm going to talk to you about why it's beautiful. But before I do... But I mean, this is just a beautiful set. I mean, look at this box. Not too closely at this corner anymore, but look at this box. You know, we have the blue and the purple that complements the red and the orange up top. We have the complementary colors that just have a nice gradient into each other. And then they're split by a Ho-Oh, which is just a very popular Pokemon. So this has a beautiful shelf display, in my opinion. But on top of that, let's talk about the cards. Let's talk about some of the best looking cards in the set, because personally I think there's a couple of them and I think they look fantastic. So let me throw them on screen right. First up, I want to talk about this Rapidash card. Now, this card is absolutely beautiful, and I will admit I feel like this artwork tends to be a little more feminine than what I'm drawn to. I usually like the darker Pokemon like that of Rocket Gang and things of that nature. That was the first set I've ever completed. But I do think that in general this card artwork is absolutely beautiful. I think that the soft painterly vibe lends itself well to this specific Pokemon. I love the foliage in the foreground and the look of his or her mane, that kind of fire just bursting out, that spill. It looks like a splash of paint or just an explosion of a sun flare. It just really looks awesome, and I think that it's a beautiful looking card art. Next up, I have this Ethan's Typhlosion, which I think is a fantastic card. I think it looks beautiful. The expression on both the Pokemon and the trainer's face, I really like the synergy there. I love the explosive colors, the amount of different colors that we get in this artwork, as well as just the aggressive line work. It just feels like there's such an energy when you look at this card. It's almost tangible, the energy that's on this artwork. So I really love this, and I do think that this is probably going to be one of the best chase cards in the set. However, it's not the card I'm chasing most, and I'll talk about that one in just a little bit. But next up, I have this Misty's Lapras. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't my favorite card in the set. I do think that the artwork does leave a little bit to be desired for someone like me that likes all these like aggressive, tough-looking Pokemon. But that being said, I really love the concept of this, them just hanging out on a beach underneath the palm tree. It's very tranquil, very serene. And of course, I love the card because Misty is prominently displayed on it. RIP to the voice actress. It's a shame that she passed away so young. But if there's a card with Misty on it, it holds a special place in my heart because I grew up watching the show. So it is what it is. I got to throw a little shout out to this card, even though personally, it's definitely not one of my favorite chase cards in the set. And next up, I have this Ethan's Ho-Oh, which I think is beautiful. A lot of people like Ho-Oh. I like it, but it's not like the crazy. It's not my favorite. I prefer Lugia. That's just me. But a lot of people like Ho-Oh, and for good reason. It is a beautiful Pokemon, and so is this card. I love the perspective. I love the fact that Ethan is looking up at the Pokemon. You can see the sun just peeking over its wing, and then on top of that, we get some nice yellows in the middle, and then it fades up to a more twilight color at the top. So you really get the idea that they're together during a sunset in a field somewhere, because you can see the little blurred out foliage in the foreground, and just the perspective of Ethan looking up at the Pokemon and it looking down. It really gives you a good sense of scale. It shows off how big Ho-Oh is, and I feel that it's a realistic way to kind of display the Pokemon and the trainer together in a card. Next up, I have this Ethan's Adventure. Now, there's a lot of cards in this set that might be popular with other people, so I don't really know why I picked this one because it's not my favorite personally. I don't really care too much about Ethan, and I don't care too much about the Pokemon on it, so I don't personally care too much about it, but something about this artwork stood out to me, and I feel like people that like Ethan or people that like cute Pokemon, I think are going to enjoy this card. So, I don't know. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Next up, I have this Cynthia's Garchomp. Now, Cynthia's Garchomp is a very, very popular card in English right now. I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and for good reason. I think the artwork is absolutely fantastic. When I first saw this card, I saw Cynthia's big head behind there, and I just thought, oh, she's standing behind the Pokemon. But as soon as you think about it for a second, you think about the perspective, and you actually look closer at the card, you'll notice that Cynthia is actually life-size, a little bit lower and smaller on the artwork, and that large Cynthia is actually Cynthia being projected onto the arena screen, the Jumbotron, if you will, whatever you want to call it, because she's in the middle of a Pokemon battle. So I think that that's really cool because I feel like that is such a consistent theme in the show, you know, battling at a gym, battling at an arena. So the fact that you actually get to see a trainer with a Pokemon in an arena battle, it just feels relatively unique compared to a lot of different card arts. I'm not familiar with too many artworks that kind of have these trainer type battles in arenas. If you know some, please leave them in the comments because I really vibe off of this artwork, even though I don't really know Cynthia or Garchomp because, again, I've kind of been in and out of the hobby for years, so I'm not super familiar with every trainer and the newer Pokemon, but I gotta say, beautiful card. Absolutely beautiful card. And something about Cynthia just reminds me of Sabrina. She's got that like goth emo energy. I don't know what it is about the artwork, but she just seems like a goth girl, and I'm a sucker for those. And last but certainly not least, I have the card that I want to pull most out of the set, and that is Misty's Psyduck. Now, I love this artwork, and I don't like talking badly about card artworks because, truthfully, I'm not talented enough to do any of this stuff. That's why I became a photographer instead. No shade to photographers, I'm joking. But, all jokes aside, like, it is hard to draw and to do this stuff, so I give respect to all of these artists. But I gotta say, this one artwork really, there's just something, and I think the artist did this on purpose, but it just bugs me, and that is the fact that Misty is submerged under the water. And I think that the artist did that because they wanted to make sure that the focus was primarily on Psyduck. But personally, I feel like it was just a missed opportunity, a misty opportunity, if you will, because I wanted to see the punch of orange in her hair. And instead, I'm getting this like greenish brown, and that yellow that's on the top of Psyduck's head is beautiful, and it complements the blue. It's the complementary colors that just work together so well, and I really wish that we got that orange in Misty's hair so we got another taste of that, but instead I think the artist wanted the focal point to be the Psyduck, and to me, I get it, but it just feels like a buzzkill because when I personally love Misty, I love cards with Misty on them, so if she's on it, I want her to be just as visible and just as prominent as the Pokemon most of the time. And in this, I just feel like it was kind of a missed opportunity to wash out those colors in her hair. But otherwise, I love it. Swimming with her Pokemon, the swirling of the water, the kind of rainbow in the water. Are those PFA chemicals or is it just a beautiful day outside? I don't know. I can't really tell. But yeah, I love this artwork, and therefore it is my #1 chase card of the set. So that's it for the video. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what you think of this set. I personally think it's beautiful. I think it's going to age well, and I bought a couple of these boxes as investments just because I think it's going to do well. Now, I could totally be wrong in that, and again, this is not financial advice. Do not listen to what I say and take it as financial advice because it is not. I'm just telling you what I think, and honestly, looking back on some of my videos, I've had plenty of stupid thoughts before, and I'm probably going to have plenty of stupid thoughts in the future, but I also have been right a handful of times, and I don't know, I feel strongly about this set. So we'll see how this video ages in a few years, and that's always interesting to watch. So definitely click subscribe so you can come back in a few years and call me stupid or smart. We will see. So that's it. Love you. See you in the next one.